What is up, homies? My name is Felix and I'm here back again with another video for you all today. And in this one, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a PinkPantheress type beat. And if you don't know who that is, she's basically an artist from the UK who's been getting a lot of popularity recently on TikTok. You have probably heard this song. When you wipe your tears, do you wipe them just for me? Or perhaps this one. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, now I'm entering my bed. So yeah, she has a very cool, really unique style. I think it's kind of like D&B slash maybe like breakbeat. I don't know the exact terminology for all of it. Some of you guys who know a little bit more about the specifics of the names of everything can let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, today that is the type of beat that I'm going to be showing you guys how to make. These type of beats are super easy and super fun to make, and literally anybody can do it. So yeah, make sure you guys check out my Instagram and my SoundCloud down in the description below, along with the playlist of songs I produced, my beat store, my Discord, all that stuff. Go check it out if you'd like to do so. And now we can get into this video. There's some PinkPantheress songs that kind of stray a little bit further away from the, D&B style. I'm just gonna keep calling it D&B or breakbeat or something, even if that's not what it actually is. But anyways, the main two references that I'm gonna be using for this beat today are the two songs that I played earlier in the beginning. So yeah, anyways, now we can actually make this beat. So the first thing I'm gonna do is set my tempo to somewhere around like 125, 130-ish. I found that's a pretty good tempo for these type of beats. So the melody is gonna be heavily inspired by this song. And I'm basically just gonna have two simple chords in there. So I'm gonna pull up Expand, which is like a $10, $15 plugin. You can use any sort of other free plugin that has like a pad sound or any sort of keys or something like that. But I'm gonna use Expand because there's one preset in here that I really like, and it sounds like this. And what I just played right there is basically going to be like the whole melody for the song. But I like this preset a lot because it has this kind of percussive thing going on here with this sound. And I just like that a lot, and I think it adds to the rhythm quite a bit. So pretty much all we're gonna do for the melody right now is we're gonna have two 7th chords just going back and forth. And since we're not really going too crazy with the melody here, I can give you guys a little bit of a music theory type lesson. So basically, if you don't know, this is the way that you make 7th chords. So basically, I'm gonna make just a simple major chord by doing one note here, and then I'm gonna skip 3 spaces, and then place a note, and then skip 2 spaces, place a note. And now this is just a simple E major chord, just a simple E major triad. But if we want to take this chord and turn it into a 7th chord or a 9th chord or 11th chord or 13th or whatever the heck we want to make it into, what we need to do is just basically follow the exact same pattern that I just used to make this chord. So that's 3 spaces and then 2 spaces, and then we're just going to copy that over. So 3 spaces, boom, now we have a 7th chord. And now if we do 2 spaces, now we have a 9th chord. If we play it, it sounds like this. And that 9th chord does sound nice, but it's not exactly what we're going for here. So I'm just going to chop this out like this. And now when we play this, we have more of the sound that we're going for here. And if you want to know why they're called 7th and 9th and 11th chords, basically this is the reason why. Every scale has a certain amount of notes that you can use within it that sound good. So in the key of E major, that's basically just going to be all of these highlighted lighter gray notes here. And if we count up those notes starting with E, which is the root because it's, E major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right here is this note. And if you remember, this was a 7th chord. So that's basically because it's adding the 7th note of the scale in there. And if we do a 9th chord right here, 7, 8, 9. But enough about that. Now what we need to do is go from this chord right here to a chord that's lower down, and we're basically just going to do that by searching around for what sounds good to our ear. So there's infinite different ways to build a chord progression, but what I'm going to do is go by this top note right here. So I'm going to look for a note that sounds good to play right after this note. And I think this A sharp note right here is what I want. So I'm going to build a chord based off of this A sharp. So we're going to basically go down like this. And then we're going to drag this over and see if this sounds good. So that doesn't exactly sound good, and that's because this is a minor 7th chord. So what I'm going to do is make it a major 7th by going like this and see if this sounds good. And that was basically the chord that I was hearing in my head. So now that we've finished this very complicated melody, what we're going to do is work on the drums, which in my opinion is like the most important part of this. So similar to any beat you ever make, your sound selection and the drums that you pick are going to make a huge difference in the actual sound. So when I was looking for like D&B style drum kits, I really could not find anything. I did, however, find this actual PinkPantheress drum kit on Reddit. However, though, these are basically just sounds that are sampled like directly from her songs. And even though they are really nice sounds, we're not trying to exactly recreate the beats. And also the kit only has like a few sounds anyway. So all I'm going to do is just use this hi-hat right here. And if you have that drum kit, you can use all the sounds from it if you want to. However, I'm going to show you guys kind of where you can look for some other sounds if you can't find any like DMB kits. So what I have found that works really, really well for this is like old vintage drum machine sounds. You can pretty much just look up like vintage drum machine sounds, and I'm sure you'll find exactly what you need. So yeah, I'm going to go through some of those kits right now and look for some sounds that I can use, and I'll show you guys what kind of sounds good and what doesn't. So for all the trap producers and hip hop producers and stuff, you want to basically just forget every instinct you normally have when choosing drums, because normally a kick like this, right? You'd think, oh wow, that's a pretty fire kick for like an old school type beat or something like that. But you don't really want a super thumpy kick, and all of these sounds you want to be pretty like lo-fi, and lo-fi meaning like actually like low fidelity, not like, you know, lo-fi hip hop. This sound right here, I would say is a pretty good sound to use because it's very short and it's not like super chunky or anything like that. Alright, so we pretty much have all the drum sounds that we're going to use. I've got an open hi-hat, close hi-hat, shaker, a kick, a little rim sound, and then I got this little sound here. And then I also have a crash sound. So these sounds are pretty much subject to change. I'm probably going to change them later on. However, I'm just going to show you guys how to make the actual drum pattern here. So you can obviously start with a kick right on the one here, and then we want to take a rim or snare or whatever you're using, and we're just going to place them on the red ones here like this. And then what I'm going to do is take the closed hi-hat, or you can probably use like a shaker for this if you want to, and put it like this. So we're not going to start on the one. We're going to start 2 in, and then 2 in, and then 2 in like this every time. And now you're going to have something that sounds like this. And as you can hear, we've already got a little vibe going on. But basically what we're going to do now, we're going to take this level 1 groove and bring it up to like a 10. So what we got to do is add a couple little of these in here. So once we have this, it's going to sound like this. And in a few of her songs, I've heard kind of a thing that's like this, where you do like a little snare bounce thingy. And I think that sounds pretty good if you do use it in the right way. So now I'm going to add the kick in right here, and then maybe do a little something like this at the end, and then maybe like this. And before we go any further, there's one thing that I really like to do with these style of beats, and that's to turn up the swing quite a bit. So I don't know if this is like a standardized thing that everybody does. I don't think it really is. However, I like it, and I feel like it adds quite a lot to the, you know, groove that we're going for here. So now what I'm going to do with this hi-hat pattern is add a couple more notes in there with different velocities. So it's basically going to sound like this, something like this a little bit. So we're going to add these notes. And then if you're using FL Studio 11 or FL Studio 20, you can hit K and then basically do this. And then I'm going to add this in here, basically the same thing. And then I'm going to put the open hat at the end here like this. So now all we really need to do is add a crash in here, and this is pretty much our whole drum pattern completed. So yeah, it sounds really nice. It's got some great groove to it, and now we're just going to put the two together like this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Just kidding, we still have a couple more things we need to do here. The first of which is adding a bass. So I'm gonna go into Citrus and create my own bass actually. So creating your own bass in Citrus is pretty easy. This is gonna be like a sub bass type thing. So we're gonna go to presets. Our entire screen is gonna get filled with random stuff. Click on default, and then we're gonna go to main and turn this pitch knob all the way down. And then we're gonna turn this one right here in OP1 down to 1. And now we're gonna have this type of sound, which you probably can't hear unless you have headphones on. Pretty much gonna take this and turn it into like some type of square wave or something. So pretty much right there is a decent enough bass. All I need to do is tweak this knob right here, the tension knob. And now we've got this sound. So we're just gonna put this in following the root notes of the chords. And then I think I'm gonna add like a couple stuttery kind of notes in here, something like this. Basically, just something along those lines so it's not the exact same thing playing 100 times. So since this beat is kind of basic right now as far as the melody goes, what I'm going to try to do is mess around with adding like some bells in here or some other kind of counter melody sound. But most of her beats are really simple for a reason, because you want to have room to be able to sing over and make your own melodies on top of the actual beat. So I'm going to mess around a little bit with some counter melodies, but I think mostly I'm just going to add some layers onto these chords to give them a little bit more character and, you know, more thickness. So I tried a couple different counter melodies, but a lot of them just didn't really sound right to me. So I think just going with the basic chords is what I'm gonna do. And it just sounds like this after I've added a couple little layers in here. So at this point, we're pretty much done. It feels a little bit weird because I feel like I need to like say more things. But like I said, the beats are really simple and really fun to make because obviously we've got a nice, fun little grooving little beat here. But really all we need to do now is just lay out the beat and then mix it, and then we're pretty much done here. So since we have a really simple beat going on here, obviously, and we're not going to add vocals to it right now at least, we want to have the layout be pretty interesting. So what I'm going to do is just split by channel and then drag them all in like this. So what I'm going to do is just have the chords play right in the beginning like this. And then I think what I want to do is have all of the drums kind of drop in, except for I don't really think I want to have this bass playing right away. And then I think I'll probably have this play for like 8 bars, and then maybe I'll bring in the bass after that like this. And then I think with the first 8 bars, I'm going to take out some of the accenting percussion sounds. So maybe like this shaker I'll take out, and then maybe the open hat too. And then I'll probably add a little break right here with just the chords playing. And then actually maybe we'll add in the hi-hats here. So yeah, honestly, I think that's pretty good. And then I'll probably add a couple more sections where I take out some of the percussion sounds. I'll also maybe switch up the layers and the chords a little bit. Like maybe I'll just have that first sound that I added play for a little while. And also I was thinking about recording a little guitar because quite a few of her songs do have guitar in them, as you've probably heard. If I do end up recording that, what I'll probably do is just take my trusty acoustic guitar here, and I'll basically just do like an arpeggio with the main chord. So like this. So yeah, I might add something like that just so I have a little bit more of the guitar influence in there. I'll have a little break with the guitar or something. So the one final thing we need to do if we want to finish this beat is just mix it. And I'm not going to show you guys how to do that in this video because I do actually have a video on that already, which is right here. So you should go click on that if you want to learn how to mix your beats. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for me in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little PinkPantheress type beat tutorial type thing, video thing. It feels a little bit weird doing a video on such a simple beat, I guess. But even I have that producer mindset of like, I gotta add a bunch of different counter melodies and I gotta put a bunch of effects on it and do a bunch of crazy stuff. And even though it is hard to kind of kick that mindset, you really don't need to do a whole bunch of fancy stuff. Most of the best beats out there are really simple and were made in like, 15 minutes or something. So yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys check out my Instagram and my SoundCloud down in the description below, along with the playlist of songs I produced, my beat store, my Discord, all that stuff. Go check it out if you'd like to do so. And I will see you guys next time.
I've been laying low, waiting for the payroll. Once I get it, know I got it, I ain't never letting go. Well shit, cause I said so. Hit a KO with a sick flow. Pick up, talk shit, get money, pay phone. Make sure I get what I can.